Wu Zetian was one of the most successful and controversial rulers in Wu Zetian history. Namely by two paths to a position of power and prominence during the Tang dynasty. She married two emperors and gave birth to another couple and completely eliminated anyone who would stand in her way. Wu Zetian, the only female emperor of China, the most cruel. Wu Chen, also called Wu Zhao and Wu Hao, she became a junior concubine of the Tai emperor in 636 or 638 AD. When she was only 14 years old, at that time she was a concubine employed in the laundry department. Being a junior concubine is an entry-level job. One day he felt disgusted with the honor of washing in the laundry of a private secretary whose court was close to the emperor. Even so, Wu Zetian kept abreast of developments in social politics and state affairs. This was to provide him with a front row of education. Apart from getting Taojan's help, he also attracted the attention of his son Prince Li. China. And this was the beginning of a fight that broke out. Wu Zetian, her name is at the top of Time's list of the 10 richest women of all time. The amount of her wealth exceeds that of any woman in the world to date. She was even richer than the most famous Egyptian queen, Cleopatra, and the Russian ruler, Catherine the Great. The amount of assets of the heiress of the luxury car company BMW, Suzanne Cladden, and the ruler of the L'Oréal Cosmetics empire, Liliane Bettencourt, is far behind. She was Wu Zetian, the only female emperor in the long history of the Chinese empire that spanned 4,000 years. He ruled in the 7th century AD. And successful. During his 15 years of rule, Wu successfully spread the influence of his kingdom to Central Asia. His kingdom became the largest in the world at that time. The nation prospered, thanks to the trade in valuable commodities such as tea and silk along the Silk Road. While in power, Wu managed the government as effectively as possible. Under Wu's rule, military costs were slashed, taxes were cut, salaries of top performers were raised, pensions were given benefits, and large tracts of land near the capital were converted into agricultural land. She also opens up opportunities for other women to excel in all fields. Literature, science, even government, although a number of historians have accused this policy, was carried out to legitimize her power as a female emperor. One of them was Shangguan Wanner. Wu appointed the former slave as a confidant and acting prime minister. Wu, with the success of her reign as well as her cruelty, reversed the opinion of her time that believed women could not be in power. That the mandate of the gods could not possibly be passed down to women. However, Wu Zetian is a controversial figure. On the one hand, he is considered an aristocrat. Others accused him of being evil. Empress Wu Zetian is depicted by history as a controversial and sadistic figure. One cannot become the richest woman in history without bloodshed. Wu Zetian entered the palace as a concubine of Emperor Taizong, the ruler of the Tang dynasty, who was more likely to be her grandfather. At that time she was still 14 years old and was nicknamed Wu Mei. Even though he came from a remote area, his parents, who were still blue blood and rich, equipped him with the skills of playing music, writing and reading classical Chinese literature. The mother, Lady Yang, was in tears as she escorted her daughter to the palace. He didn't want his baby to become his mistress. However, with these words, Wu pacified the feelings of the woman who gave birth to him. "How did you know that it wasn't my good fortune to meet the Son of Heaven, the nickname of the Chinese emperor? Why did you cry like a child?" Realizing that there was a big ambition stirring in her daughter's chest, the mother stopped crying. Not only was she able to charm the emperor, her charm also melted the crown prince's heart. Wu Zetian rose to power because she was the concubine of two emperors of the Tang dynasty, who were father and daughter. Throughout history, Wu has been depicted as a tyrannical figure. Historians see it from a negative side. He has the heart of a snake and has the qualities of a wolf. Another historian wrote, "He killed his own sisters, slaughtered his brothers, killed the rulers, and poisoned his mother." He was hated by gods as well as men. He also has a reputation for being naughty. It is said that he was willing to satisfy Emperor Taizong's unusual sexual appetites. These advantages are said to have made Wu stand out from other women in the palace. This made him able to compete with almost 30 concubines. The emperor made him his favorite even though he was unable to produce children. In 649 AD, the ruler died. Like other concubines, she was sent to a convent to spend her life there. However, it didn't take long for him to return to the palace. The charm of Wu captivated the heir to the throne, Emperor Gaozong, who made her his concubine, 3 years after her father died. Returning to the palace, Wu began trying to realize his ambitions. He considered Queen Wang and senior concubine Xiaoshu as rivals who had to be eliminated. He even had the heart to kill his own baby daughter and make Queen Wang, who was the last to hold the child, as a scapegoat. After succeeding as queen in 655 AD, Wu ordered Wang and his concubine Xiaoshu to be eliminated. Their bodies were even mutilated and put in wine barrels before being thrown away. Wu also appointed his relatives to important posts. Slowly, the woman came to rule with her husband. After Gaozong's death in 683 AD, Wu remained in control of power as Empress Dowager. He appointed his son Li Xian as Emperor Zhongzong. In less than a year, he overthrew the new emperor who was difficult to control. Wu then installed his fourth son Li Dan as Emperor Ruzong. On October 16, 690 AD, Wu seized the throne, declared himself emperor and founded a new dynasty, the Zhou dynasty controlled from the capital Luoyang. It is said that Wu deployed spy agents throughout the palace, eavesdropping on people's conversations. Those who oppose the emperor will undoubtedly be eliminated. Wu is also said to have created a kind of harem filled with handsome and young men. She is also said to have had an illicit first relationship with a man named Wei, second, with the Zhong brothers. Wu's power waned in 705 AD, when he was over 80 years old. He was forced to reinstate his son, Emperor Zhongzong, as king. His biggest mistake was marrying his son to a concubine who was very much like him, cruel and ambitious. However, when he died, he was buried with full honors. Not as emperor, but as queen mother. Then, his successors tried to erase traces of Wu Zetian from history. A number of modern historians have attempted to understand the figure of Wu Zetian, not with full prejudice as in the past, including the wild reputation of Wu Zetian. Moreover, it is not new. A number of female rulers have also faced similar accusations. For example, Empress Irene from Byzantium, or Catherine the Great from Russia.